Hi, my name is Lingyuan. In this video, I will present our CSCW paper, Channeling End-User Creativity, Leveraging Live Streaming for Distributed Collaboration in Indie Game Development. On behalf of my co-authors, Dr. Freeman and Dr. McNeese. Existing CSCW research has demonstrated a continuous need and challenges for supporting distributed collaboration and varied social technical relationships in different contexts of software development practices. However, prior research mainly focused on tech-savvy or expert developers' distributed collaboration in software development. In addition, new forms of end-user-driven collaborative activities that focus on innovation are often conducted by end users with varying degrees of technical skills and through new and novel computer-mediated methods. So how these new phenomena and populations may shape the landscape of distributed collaboration in software development will need more research. We thus introduce indie game development as a growing form of collaborative software development, which goes beyond a traditional workplace setting and is open to developers at all levels. Generally, indie game developers are people who do not affiliate with large game companies or publishers, but make and publish games in alternative ways. In this sense, indie game development has attracted amateurs and non-traditional technology users. It demonstrates different labor setups, development life cycles, production models, and expectations for collaboration and participation. Especially, many indie developers use streaming platforms such as Twitch to socialize, promote, and share what they're working on. While prior work has reviewed nuances of live streaming as a collaborative and interactive environment for learning and teaching skills, in this paper, we endeavor to investigate the potential of using live streaming to support end-user-driven creative practices. Therefore, we explore the following research questions. First, how do indie game developers use live streaming to support their collaborative game development beyond learning and teaching programming? And second, what challenges do indie game developers often encounter when collaborating through live streaming? We conducted 27 in-depth semi-structured interviews with indie game developers who have experienced live streaming for game development. Specifically, participants consider themselves full-time if they were developing indie games as a full-time job, and they consider themselves part-time or hobbyist if they have other full-time jobs. We then analyze our interview data qualitatively. Our findings show that participants use live streaming to support their collaborative efforts for innovating game development in three ways. First, live streaming's real-time interactivity allows indie developers to collaboratively and synchronously design, develop, and socialize with streamers and viewers in the moment. In this sense, live streaming platforms can be used to facilitate a democratic and participatory game development model, while potential game players, like audiences, can actively engage in the game design and developmental process as partners. And second, live streaming provides indie game developers all over the globe with a free public platform to present their talents. Participants often utilize these benefits of live streaming to collaboratively build the presence of the indie community and reinforce the visibility of indie game development to the general public. And third, our participants use live streaming to foster an open and supportive indie culture for collaboration. On the one hand, live streaming can be used as a casual, natural, and less awkward way to maintain relationships with potential collaborators. On the other hand, live streaming can be used to either share or receive various social support, such as donation system for financial support, beyond geographic limitations to connect with other indie developers, or asking for collaboration or building friendship, etc. And our findings also highlight several challenges emerging in this progress of using live streaming platforms to innovate game developers collaboratively. First, indie game development typically involves visual design, storytelling, arts, programming, music, sound effects, and many other aspects. However, existing live streaming platforms are often not designed to coalesce the multidisciplinary content for specific technological practices, such as indie game development. And another major challenge is the easy distraction from collaborating on game development itself. For instance, the increasing amount of information, both from the streamed content and the two-way communication system, can lead to information overload and easily distract and interrupt indie developers, which may hinder a potential collaborative process. Also, live streaming can be a distraction for developers simply because someone is watching. Being watched itself can distract the participants enough from fully engaging in conducting game development or seeking collaborative effort from the audience in front of the camera. Another distraction may come from how to appropriately navigate and set up live streaming technologies. For many indie game developers who are amateurs or non-professionals, live streaming creates additional technical barriers to engage in the already challenging collaborative software development practices. And third, some participants found themselves in a dilemma. They hope to openly present and promote their game development to the public so as to seek potential collaboration and input from audiences. They also worry about their copyright and the possibility that others may steal their ideas and take the credit. And the open and sharing nature of live streaming may not only risk indie game developers' intellectual rights, but also their privacy. Streaming may inevitably reveal indie developers' personal information and put their personal safety at risk. So to discuss the implication of this work, we bridge collaborative software development and live streaming in the context of indie game development. Through this research, we first explain collaborative software development via live streaming using collaboration theories. We then extend the prior literature on live streaming by shedding light on how it can be used beyond the teaching and learning skills. We also offer a creative view of using live streaming platforms for distributed collaboration in software development, that is, being live and providing real-time two-way communication presents both pros and cons for such collaboration. And these insights help us to outline three main design recommendations. First, make specific and user-driven creative streams and communities standalone categories. And second, control information input and lower the threshold of streaming tool use to help mitigate distractions. And third, live streaming platforms and all users should supervise copyright infringements jointly. We hope these reconsiderations can effectively address the challenges emerging in distributed collaboration for end-user-driven creative activities. Thank you for watching. We also thank our participants and the National Science Foundation for supporting this research.